Hey folks, Poser, welcome back to another Poem Masters video, and today let's talk about Pidgeot, or Mega Pidgeot, I guess, and Blue Synchrid. So, this one was a long time coming, right? Took a while before we finally got the Synchrid, and it's a pretty good grid. It's a pretty good grid for, all intents and purposes. So, let's talk about some builds then. Let's get right into this. So, as usual, starting from 1 out of 5, and as usual, not too much to talk about at 1 out of 5. Especially since like Pidgeot has like what 3 different offensive moves, right? Since there's also Mega one. They take up a lot of space, all the other ones. So just pretty, straight up, just pick up like everything here highlighted, and then just pick up whichever move you're going for. Right? Going for Hurricane, pick up Hurricane stuff. Going for Air Cutter, pick up the Air Cutter stuff, right? Anyways, pretty straightforward. Moving on. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5, honestly, there's nothing too interesting. There's some good nodes here, definitely, right? You do have Brutal Clarity, which is great, right? There's that Mind Swell, too. It's there really isn't too many, like, super interesting builds. So, let's just get into this. Brutal Clarity, you pick this one up. It is slightly hard to max out. I mean, it is accuracy. You only get what +1 accuracy per every smell you later, right? So it's probably better if you want to max this out just to like get another like accuracy support, like an Alexam or a or a Singsu Lisa, probably the best unit in this case scenario, right? Or obviously the best one for buffing accuracy, right? In general, Clefairy. But if you want, you could pick up MP refreshes to help with that as well. So there's that. Again, really depends on what kind of supports you're bringing with Blue, right? If you in terms of if you want to pick up the MP refresh on Smilator, because there's 2, right? Because you only, like with Smilator, you only get +1 accuracy, +1 crit every time you use it, right? I think it's +1 evasion as well, and that's not enough for maxing out your crit or your accuracy, for actually just to not miss Hurricane. It's not even like accuracy max out for Brutal Clarity. But it is, it's enough generally for co-op, but not so much single player. So it really depends on what supports you're bringing. If you're willing to bring another support that gives Blue that extra last bit of accuracy and crit, right, then you don't have to pick up the MP refreshers. If you don't, then I'd probably pick up the MP refreshers, right? But as for some other stuff, Hurricane move gauge refresh. If you're just not worried about like the Brutal Clarity increases, then maybe pick up the accuracy +10. But it's not a huge deal because, like, if you're picking up Brutal Clarity, you're at least trying to like team build, give him like a accuracy support, or give it another MP refresh on Smilator, so you get that, right? So I'm not too worried about that. But you could pick up this special attack +20 because that's 20 is a decent amount, right? And depending on, again, your team build, right? If you don't have any special attack buffers, you could pick up Mind Swell, right? But if you do, obviously you don't really have to, which all the accuracy supports do also give special attack, right? Whether it be Sabrina, Singsu Lisa, or Clefairy, right? Even Eevee to an extent, right? They all give special attack. So it really depends on if you're also bringing that accuracy buffer. If you're not bringing that accuracy buffer, then you probably would want to pick up Mind Swell too, and then pick up the Smilator MP refreshes. If not, if you have those, then obviously you don't need that, right? You could just pick up some other stuff instead. If you want, you could pick up Pinpoint Entry, I guess, because that gives you an extra +1 accuracy when you come in, and then when you mega, that's another +2. So even without MP refreshers on Smilator, that's gonna give you +4 accuracy straight up. And then if you're, again, bringing something like an Elisa or Sabrina, then you could get up to +5 or +6 accuracy. So you could get as much as you can from Brutal Clarity, which is pretty nice, right? Then, as usual, the rest just use it on stuff like, stats, all that stuff, right? And, but if not, again, just pick up these. That should be fine if you don't have any better supports. As for any other builds, you could do like some kind of like Air Cutter, or not Air Cutter, air slash flinch build, maybe, right? Pick up the air slash stuff over here, the aggravation. Yeah, if you want to, like, I mean, it's not going to do that much damage, but like, if you're just like fully just doing this anyways, why not? right? Just go for it, right? Just pick up some damage nodes if you want. Yeah, stuff like that. I don't know. Really depends on what you're trying to go for. Not air cutter. Where's there we go. Air slash. Well, we don't need the accuracy since we as soon as you get the smile later, right? You should have enough accuracy for air slash. So, anyways, not air cutter. I keep on getting those two mixed up. Anyways, moving on to 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5, you'd have some more options. You got Harry 5 up there. It's extra 50% buff if the opponent is flinch, right? So you do have this is a more sophisticated team build, right? Team comp, because again, you do have to also have a flincher, right? While also potentially having something to raise Blue's accuracy to activate on brutal clarity, all that stuff. You know what? Let me move this over here. Forgot to do that. Sorry about that. Brutal clarity, Harry 5. And it really depends on what else you want. If you want Hurricane move gauge refresh, right? Oh, let's not take that. Let's take that instead. And then with that, you can pick up, maybe some sync move power up nodes if you want, and then like Hurricane power up nodes, something like this, right? Again, it really depends on how your team is built, right? If your team is built more so that you're not going to sync with Blue a lot, obviously you don't want to pick up the sync move nodes, right? If you're just using Blue to Hurricane and you're using like someone else to sync, right? If you're using, say like your tank, like a Steelix or something to sync, right? Which, would be beneficial if you have like something like Recuperation or something, or Milotics, something that benefits from syncing, right? Or a 6-star EX support, right? Or whatever. Then maybe not pick up the sync move power up nodes and just pick up some more, I guess, just Hurricane nodes in general, all that stuff if you want. How much do we have left? 6. That's 8, right? No, it's 7. Okay, well, that's slightly unfortunate. Or you can pick up this if you want as well. Drop that one. Do this instead. I don't know. It's really up to you. But yeah, this build, again, very, very specific team comp where you would have accuracy supports as well as crit supports as well as a flincher, right? To kind of get this whole team comp going. If not, there are situations where you don't have that as much options, right? You could just still pick up the Smile Later MP refreshes and hope you could get that by yourself, right? From Blue. So yeah, there's that. And honestly, for the air slash build, I guess you could like pick up Harry 5 in here, right? If you're going for that, right? You go. I'm not again, the air slash is not like something that you'd like really just want to do generally. It's just for when you're like out of like MP, like specifically for like Battleville. If you're out of MP, you have to keep using Blue, right? MP for Smell Later, right? You don't have accuracy, all that stuff, so you can't really do Hurricane. It's really, dangerous. You could just turn him into like a flinch machine, sorta, instead, right? And pick up like Mind Swell, whatever. But yeah, something like that. Brutal Clarity. We don't have enough energy either way. Oh well, something like this, right? Pick up some more air cutter power ups. But yeah, that's or not air cutter. Ugh, I get these two mixed up all the time. They're so bad. But yeah, that's it for this one, I guess. It really, I almost said Singsu Blue and Mega Pidgeot. In terms of the kind of grids you want to go with, right? Just for Hurricane damage, right? Not talking about hair slash. It really just kind of sort of depends on your team comp, right? If you can afford to pick up like a Harry 5, or if you can afford to pick up Brutal Clarity, right? It really depends. So be flexible, right? If you say, if you can't really fit like a flincher into the team, you might, your team is a bit too glassy, right? You don't have enough tanks, and instead of a flincher, you want to just throw in a tank there instead. Then obviously don't pick up Harry 5 then, right? You just go Brutal Clarity, all that stuff. Just pick up, just be flexible with it, right? Hurricane power ups, all that stuff. Just go with that instead. Haircut or Crit Strike 3. Yeah, all that. Wait. We don't have enough for that, right? Where are we at? Let's see, air slash. Maybe just some stats to fill it up, right? Defense, speed, right? So yeah, again, just kind of be flexible in terms of your team comp. It really just depends on if you can fit certain things into your team or not, right? Same thing with Brutal Clarity on the other hand. Although Brutal Clarity is a bit more forgiving, just because like Blue does have obviously accuracy buffs for himself, right? With again 2 MP refresh 3s on Smell Later. Obviously, if you're like fully relying on Smell Later to proc all the MP refreshes, one, it's not incredibly reliable. 2, it's gonna take forever just to like get the accuracy up. So again, I wouldn't suggest not running it without accuracy buffers if you're not, if you are trying to go with Brutal Clarity, right? But even if you're not running it with accuracy buffers, it's still like a decent node to pick up. Like it's not like super expensive. It's like 8 energy, right? It's not 10 or 15 or whatever. And just even with like the original +2 or +3, right? Maybe sometimes you want to get a +3 because in this scenario you're very, very likely not running, say like Sabrina or Sings of Lisa, right? So maybe you also need that last bit of crit. So yeah, for just pick up like Smell Later and MP Fresh instead in that case scenario. But anyways, that's me with this one. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know guys in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video on our channel for some more Poor Mouse's content. I'll see you guys in the next one.